Hi, I'm Serena. I'm the owner of Vital Health, and my co-host is Megan Frazier.
Yes.
Hello. We decided to do this podcast because alpha-gal is so prevalent in our area. It's an issue. And so I see it in my practice every day. I see it with people like Megan. And that's actually, I think, how we kind of bonded, really honestly.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. She came and saw me, and I was like, hey, let's put you on this medicine. And she's like, I can't take that because it's not going to work for me. And I'm like, why? And you just kind of explained to me that, with your allergy that you had, that you couldn't take certain medicines. So it's always nice when I'm a medical provider and I learn something. I do it every day, but it's nice when I learn something from my patients too. So that's kind of how we really got kind of talking and developing this.
Yes. So this is the Alpha Gals podcast, and I have obviously had Alpha Gal, and it's really important to me to educate people, to bring more awareness, and to make those other people with Alpha Gal feel less alone, and to just give resources to help them live a better life with it, because it's possible. It's totally possible.
Yeah, I think that's the important message.
Yes. And there are definitely a lot of unknowns because Alpha Gal is new, fairly new. But I've learned a lot, and you've learned a lot.
Oh, I feel like it's an enigma. I feel like there's a lot of things we still don't know in the medical community, a lot of things we're learning. And so and Mandy, who's not here, she's part of our trio. She's amazing. She's not feeling well, and that happens sometimes with Alpha Gal. You have times when you're just like, not going to be able to do that today.
Yes.
So we went ahead and started this first one without her, but you're going to love her. And a lot of you probably already know her from social media. She's a big presence. I feel like she's done a lot to get that message out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's made lots of phone calls and emails and really researched information that many people don't have the time or patience to do.
Yeah, and she's lived it. And then she has specialists that she's seen who, they live, eat, and breathe Alpha Gal. So she shares that information with me as just a normal family practitioner learning a lot about it. Yeah. So when we got together, we're like Alpha Gal, and then we're like Alpha Gals. Like, what? The name just kind of, made itself. So we thought it was kind of clever. We're so clever.
The Alpha Gals.
The Alpha Gals. So anyway, the purpose of this podcast, of course, is to educate, empower, which
Absolutely.
I feel like I educate and empower every day. That's part of what I do. So, and I feel like as a teacher, that's part of what you do as well. So it just kind of fit. And so this podcast is here to help you, help your loved one. Because a lot of people who
we did a good support.
Yes. And we had a support group recently. It was amazing. Support group had a great turnout. I really feel like it's important not just, and you've lived this as well, it's not just important for you to be educated, it's important for the people around you to be educated on what's going on with you.
Yeah, when you go to a family function or a holiday meal, when people are not educated, it makes life a lot harder.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for your support system to know what you can and can't have. And so it absolutely that's
because when you eat that one thing, it can ruin your freaking week.
Absolutely.
It can just wreak havoc on your life. So I think it's really important. And one of the things we're going to do with this podcast is talk about what is off the table, what is off limits, what is available for you too. Your resources. It's not all negative. Like you can't have this. It's a lot of both.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Yes.
Yeah. So Megan, why don't you tell us about your Alpha Gal journey?
Okay. So I was bit by a tick, and it's the Lone Star tick, and it was in June of 22, and I just pulled a tick off my body, didn't think anything about it. Over the summer, I experienced some weird things, but I wasn't putting them together. I had major joint pain. I had stomach aches. I had headaches. I had brain fog. But I didn't think that anything was connected. I just knew I didn't feel right. At one point, I changed my diet thinking I was allergic to something else, and I started eating all beef. And
I see that a
so
lot.
my face actually took the brunt of it, and for whatever reason, I started showing this major allergic reaction from the neck up.
Yeah.
And woke up clawing my face at night and just clawed my skin off, basically. Went to an allergist, and he knew immediately. He's like, "Have you been bitten by a tick?" And of course, there it was. We did a simple lab test to get your yes or no. Do you have alpha gal or not? There is a lab test available now. It's not always 100%.
Correct.
We can deal with that conversation later. But anyway, so I started my journey in October of 22 is when I found out that I was positive for alpha gal, and so it's an allergy to a sugar molecule that is present in four-legged mammals. And people are often confused when you say mammals. They're like, "Oh, so you can't eat meat?" Well, that's not true. It is beef, it's deer, it's pork, it's lamb, anything with four legs. And so that was a big learning curve as to what can I eat, what can I not eat. So I eat a lot of chicken and turkey and fish, and stick with those. But what I found, and we are going to dive into this a whole lot later, but is that there's tons of byproducts in our food items, in our skincare, in our everyday life.
Which I didn't know. And
yes.
so it was really enlightening to hear a lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I did spend 48 hours, and I 100% cut out everything in my life that had mammal. I learned, we were reading. My husband has been a huge advocate for
David
me.
Fraser.
Yes.
Who's also recording
And
this, by the way.
yes. And so we probably read more in 24 hours than we had in a long period of time. Just soaking in this information of what is mammal, what is not, what are byproducts, what are not. And
I mean, it's amazing
within-
how many things have like gelatin in them.
yes,
And
yes,
yes.
our medications. So after 48 hours, I could not believe the difference in how I felt.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how horrible I felt eating and consuming mammal. And then when we cleared it all out, I mean, I felt like a new person. And so then it became a process of how do I live in real world? Like, how do I go out to eat? How do I function with my family, with having all new products and a whole new way of life? And there was grieving involved. Social settings were different. And there was a really big sadness for me through that. But over time, we worked through it, and we learned how to live with alpha gal. And I wouldn't say we just learned how to live with it, but we learned how to flourish with it. And
Yeah, that's good.
So it's possible. So
And you got better.
So I about a year and a half would react to byproducts and all that. And after a while, after that year and a half, I went into remission, and I don't know that there's an answer to why it happened or why it didn't, but either way, I went into remission. And so I was eating steak and hamburgers and perfectly fine for about another year. And then this March, I just started feeling terrible again. And so what's wild is I went and had my lab numbers run. The allergist originally recommended to run them every 6 months, just see where you're at. And so I had them run, and I actually tested negative for alpha gal. But all my symptoms were there.
Right.
The heart palpitations, the fatigue, the joint pain. And when I would stop eating mammal, I'd feel great again. I would try it again, and I would feel crummy again.
Yeah.
And so I've had medical professionals say, those lab tests aren't always right. And
You did your own scientific experiment.
Yep.
You were
And
like,
so I'm
gonna
going,
do
if
this.
if the mammal bothers me, if I'm responding to it like an alpha gal reaction, it's alpha gal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's good. So, and I think that's a good lesson of learning to trust your body and trust your instincts and know your symptoms. And I, as a healthcare provider, hear that a lot from patients who feel dismissed or
Yes.
feel like they're just unsure because they're like, well, I feel this way, but it's not saying that I have that. Well, you need to trust your body and know what's right and wrong for you, and discuss it with a medical professional, obviously. But sometimes we can be wrong, and sometimes we need to learn. So I think that's really important that you listen to yourself.
Yep.
And you knew what made you feel better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will always 100% encourage advocating for your own health.
Yes.
You are the only one who knows how you feel.
Correct.
And, there's research, there's statistics, there's lab tests, there's all those things, but those things don't actually feel what we feel.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we talked about before this started was this is where science meets real life.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how I practice too. It's like, yes, I have the science. Yes, I have the evidence-based practice. I do all of that. But at the end of the day, if you're a mom and you know your child, I'm going to listen to you and say, oh, something's wrong. Well, let's find it. Like,
Yes.
let's figure it out.
Yes.
So
I have thought, how can the Alpha-Gal community, how can they help you in serving patients who come in who are newly diagnosed with Alpha-Gal? Or what are the challenges that you face in that world?
So what's funny is I don't get a lot of it, believe it or not.
Okay.
I'm just starting to get some, especially
Okay.
with the support group. I got some new patients coming in once they realized that there was a provider out there that was willing to listen and and also willing to learn, because again, I have lots to learn still.
Yes.
But we do it together. I do that with a lot of my patients, with a lot of their medical journeys. It's like we do it together. So anyway, so some of the patients that'll come in who suspect they have it, we of course do the lab work and do all of that. And then, like you said, a lot of times it's just omission. It's like first we'll cut out if their alpha-gal's negative, we'll go ahead and cut out that mammalian meat.
Okay.
And if they're feeling better, then let's go ahead and keep going down that road.
Yes. Yes.
And then, or if like we'll cut out dairy or we'll cut out certain things. So sometimes it's also a diagnosis of exclusion. So sometimes if you don't always have the definitive, yes, this is what you have, we just try different things to see, like you did with yourself.
Yes.
To see what makes you feel better, what's working for you. So that seems to be a big thing. Also too, it's really important to advocate for yourself. I mean, I encourage my patients to. I also encourage our patients to talk to me and say and have a conversation instead of me talking at them.
Yes.
We talk about what has worked for you or what's working for you. What don't you like? What are you feeling? How do you want to feel? And so we have those conversations. And I think it's really important. So just make sure, of course, I'm with Vital Health, so of course I want you to come see us. But at the same time, there's a lot of really good providers out there. So if you have one that you really love and trust, just have those conversations. Hey, I'm feeling a certain way. We haven't tested for that. Could we test for that? And I think those conversations are really important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think as where we live, we're going to continue seeing Alpha-Gal grow.
It's in this area where the tick lives.
And I think it is important for people with Alpha-Gal and medical providers and the supporters. I think it's important that everybody knows that symptoms can look different.
Oh, very individual.
Yes. And, someone may have only gastrointestinal issues and somebody else may not experience that at all.
Some may
I
need an
have a
EpiPen.
list.
Yeah.
Yes. Some may eat something and truly go into anaphylaxis.
Yes, it's scary.
And what we've learned, I'm a part of a couple Facebook groups, and I've done tons of reading, and there have been people with Alpha-Gal for probably 15 to 20 years. They didn't know what it was. And so, but what they did find is some people will have an anaphylactic reaction, maybe one time.
Right.
And then they could eat the same thing or consume the same thing 5 more times and not have a horrible reaction. But then maybe the 8th time they eat it, they're going to go to anaphylaxis
Allergies
again.
are fun like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's important to note that it can look very different for everyone.
That is important. Also, too, I feel like everybody who has Alpha-Gal or a significant chance of anaphylaxis needs to have an EpiPen on board.
Yes.
You need to have your prescriber prescribe you one.
Yes.
Learn how to use it. Have the family members around you learn how to use it. Because like you said, I had a daughter who was allergic to peanuts. We didn't know. She'd eaten peanut butter 50 times. Her 51st time, she had close to an anaphylactic reaction. And it was very scary.
Yes.
And we had no idea. So, we always have Benadryl, EpiPen, always something available. Even though she avoids that and, does whatever, hasn't had one since.
Yeah.
It's still why wouldn't you have one, near you? So I think it's important to just, like you said, educate, be prepared for the worst case scenario, but hopefully most patients I've seen haven't had an anaphylactic reaction, which is great.
Right.
But all it takes is that one time, and it's scary.
Yes, for sure. Well, I'm really looking forward to doing this
Yeah, me
podcast,
too. Me
and
too.
I'm excited for Mandy to join us. Hopefully next time.
Yeah.
But I just want to empower people. I want to educate people, and I want to make them feel less alone in this crazy world with the alpha gal. And I'm thankful for medical providers that care and that
Yeah.
want to learn and want to
Yeah.
help their patients.
And we have several in our area. I mean,
Absolutely.
we have great ones in our area, and I think we're
Yes.
really blessed. And I think the more that we learn about it, the more prevalent it becomes as a diagnosis. Because, like you said, it's been around for a long time. A lot of illnesses are like that, where we may not have put a name to it, but we knew something was wrong. We just didn't know what it was. Sometimes we would call it IBS, or sometimes we would call it
Sure.
an allergic dermatitis.
That's how it
or-
presents itself.
Sure. And we would just be like, oh, you got that. But it was part of a bigger picture. And so now that we know what we're looking for, we're learning. The diagnosis is just going to keep going up. And again, we don't know if it's necessarily that it's becoming more prevalent, which I think it is, or if it's just that we're just diagnosing it more, and
aware.
we're more educated. Yeah. So I think as time goes on and people become more educated, I think there'll be more information about it. But we just want to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
The informative part. Is there a website or anything that you recommend for people to go to? Is there anything that you found to be really great as a great resource when you were doing your research?
Okay, so Fig is the app that I would recommend, especially to newly diagnosed alpha-gal.
Is it just
people.
FIG?
FIG.
Okay.
Yes, and it does cost. I mean, it's an expensive app.
Okay.
What I found to be helpful is that when you scan a barcode, like if you go to the grocery store and you scan a barcode, can I eat this or not?
yeah.
It's going to give you a green light, a yellow light, or a red light. Green light
awesome.
means it is safe. Like there's no mammal product. Yellow light actually flags the ingredients or whatever might be in there that could be a byproduct or has mammal. The red is like absolutely stay away. And so I learned a ton of ingredients just by using the Fig app.
That's great.
Unfortunately, really, we learned that if we just cook our own food, then we know what's going in it.
That's totally fair. I feel like
And
that with
so-
people with all kinds of allergies. Anytime you go out to eat, there's always a danger.
Absolutely. Because they say one thing is in there. Well,
Sure.
cross-contamination's a big deal.
Yeah.
But let's go back. The Fig app was huge for me, especially initially.
Okay.
So
That's
that would
really
be something I'd highly recommend.
Great. And then we also, like we talked about, we have our support group.
Yes.
If you go to Vital Health Primary Care on Facebook, you can follow my page. We'll post our next meeting. I think we had talked about doing it after the new year.
Yes.
The holidays are really hard, but again, we had a great turnout, really good. We'll give. You had some great handouts you made, by the way.
Maybe we can add those. We can add those to the podcast. Like I made a list of just some different resources
Yes.
of different brands that I recommend or that
Yeah,
worked
I
for
love
me.
that. Yeah.
And so maybe we can add that into the notes on this podcast.
Great,
We'll do that.
and we can even put it on the Facebook site too.
Yes.
But we should definitely get that information out there. We're going to have another support group beginning of the year. It was just, I felt like with the support group, it was so nice to hear other people's stories.
Yes.
Obviously sharing their experience, and then also just the camaraderie. Like there was several people who'd just been newly diagnosed, and they were like, wow, this is like a whole new world.
Yep.
And it was just so, I think it was nice for them to kind of find their people.
Absolutely.
Which is what support groups are for. It's for support, right? So you just got to find your village, find the people that can help you, and
Yes.
they just kind of enable. Even just from that first meeting, I felt like there was a lot of like encouragement, enabling, camaraderie. So I felt like it was really good. So we
I've
definitely
had
have
a
to
lot
have
of
another
people
one.
reach out and
Yeah.
say we need another one.
Yes.
Like, it was so good.
It was so good. So we'll do that.
do
And
it.
then, of course, we'll have it with Mandy because she's great.
Yes.
Can't wait for you guys to meet her if you haven't met her yet. She's great.
Yeah.
So we'll do this again for sure. And I feel like with each podcast, what I'd like to do is maybe focus on a topic each time because there's a whole lot of rabbit trails.
We could,
go down.
we could talk about food ingredients.
Sure.
We could talk about medications.
Yes.
We can, I mean, there's
so many things. So, and I think with the next one too, we'll have Mandy Jo kind of share her story because
Yes.
she is she's a special one. She's been down this road a long time, and it's been a rough road for her.
Yep,
So
about 5 more years than me.
yeah, so I feel like that would be good. So yeah, we'll have her on the next one, but I would just say thanks for joining us, and and we'll do this again soon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you.